Oh, that guy does.
Do you own a pair of red pants like Randy?
I do not. No, no.
Can you tell that story? That's awesome.
I can tell that story. Yeah.
His book. Gotta read his book.
It's in the book, but I'll tell you the story about the red pants. Oh man, the red pants. Um, when we went to school, well, when we would go to school, which was pretty rare. We didn't like school because we were a little bit different. We were musicians and we stood out. There wasn't a lot of guys like us around in Burbank, California back in those days. And so we got hassled a lot. We got beat up a lot. There was a constant rumor going around that every time we showed up after school, we were going to get pantsed, which I thought sounded like worse than getting beat up. Pantsed? What exactly does that entail? I mean, I get part of it, but oh my God, this is pantsed. How embarrassing. Um, Anyways, so we were always hassled in school. And one day I walked over to Randy's house because we walked to school, and he's wearing these bright red pants. These pants were so bright you had to wear sunglasses to look at them. And they were skin tight. They were just red and tight, and oh my God, we're going to get killed, is what they screamed to me. And I said, you're not wearing those, are you? Please don't wear those pants to school. But he said, no, I'm wearing them like it was nothing. And I'm going, we're going to die. You know we're going to die because of your pants. Why don't you change into some jeans? No, 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 I'm wearing my pants. He wore the pants. Well, this caused an uproar in the school like you wouldn't believe. And I think that after the things that they said that they were going to do to us, something about some mayor, there were several beatings were discussed. I think we were going to get tied up to a tree after being pantsed. That didn't sound like fun. At any rate, what eventually happened was the principal decided it would be better if he got us the hell out of there. And so he drove us home. So that was, the pants actually worked for getting out of school early that day, but it was kind of a long time before we went back. We just, school just didn't agree with us. We'd rather play music. And we were both very lucky because we had very, very, very supportive parents who kind of let us do what we wanted to do and be who we were going to be. And I'm seeing a lot more of that these days where parents are like, you know, buying their kids all kinds of equipment and stuff and saying, hey, I hope my kid grows up to be a rock star. I think that'd be cool. Whereas in my day, you know, it was like, well, all right, you know, and they bought you something once in a while. But for the most part, you had to earn whatever you needed. And until you got really good management, and then they gave you anything you wanted.
What was the band's biggest struggle you guys had to overcome?
The biggest struggle we had to overcome? That's a really good question, and boy, do I write about that in my book. There's a big difference between Quiet Riot and Van Halen. We were coming up at exactly the same time. We were basically in the same place at the exact same time. But Van Halen became a very big band way before Quiet Riot ever did, and way after I was in Quiet Riot. And the difference was our management. Our management had a vision. They had a big office in the top of a building that housed nothing but managers for actors and anybody in the entertainment field. Very impressive office. You went up to my manager's office and it was all windows on about the 10th floor, and you had a complete view of Beverly Hills, Hollywood, the Hollywood Hills. You could see the Hollywood sign from his office. It was incredible. So when you're a kid and some guy like that is telling you what to do, you listen. And sadly, we listened. Regrettably, we listened. They had an idea that we should be like the Bay City Rollers, if you could even remember them, and we should sound a lot like them. We were more like Van Halen. We were a harder edge kind of a band. And we're going to be playing some songs tonight later on with our band Quiet Riot that were actually written way before Quiet Riot was even formed. There are 2 songs we're doing that me and Randy did before Quiet Riot. But these guys are telling us how to dress, how to look, how to act, what to say. And that was the worst part of the whole thing. That was what kind of doomed us because we listened and we did what they said. They'd be wearing a goddamn sailor suit. That'll get you girls. Maybe if you have a boat. But no. And we've got the bow ties and all the, it was silly. And people always say, how come Van Halen made it so big and you guys didn't? You had Randy Rhoads. And yeah, they had Eddie, and that was the big thing in LA was we had Eddie Van Halen and we had Randy Rhoads. And yet Van Halen just like zoomed right past us. And we didn't. And I always say, the reason is because nobody told Van Halen how to dress, what to play, or do anything. They said, just be Van Halen. And I wish they would have said, just be Quiet Riot and do what you do. And then we would have made it probably before, because technically we started before them.